He is good enough to get this game across the line. Last time we saw him on the Riven in the PCS, he got a level 2 solo kill against an Udyr of all champs.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane and just showed his mastery on the champion. He has flashed on the spot to start this game, though.
Yep. No flash, doesn't need it in that top lane, and you can see him scratching his head.
Jesus. Yeah, and I'm hoping, honestly, Riven is the champion that's going to just break Jiang out of this funk he's been in.
Well, it's not starting well, considering he doesn't have flash. So there will not be a level 2 kill unless Ryu Giga Griefs it.
Yeah, Kongyue is in for some bad news if he's planning to start on the top side. Riven is a ridiculous level 1 champion who will kill him, honestly, if he tries to start on this red buff.
Ryu didn't see Jiang sneaking in. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, but it's Jiang who has to actually just
fine.
Get
no!
He has no flash. They don't even know he has no flash.
Yeah, they don't know that. They don't know that. Not a good start, guys.
Oh,
I'll be honest.
Yeah, and Ryu's just going to hang out with his jungler here. Probably going to get beat up a bit on his way back into the lane. And we're getting an instant replay of Jiang wasting his flash. A little worrying that he didn't make the jump over that wall too, but we'll let it slide. Maybe a little rust on the champion.
Yeah, hopefully...
and I cannot believe the camera is on bot lane right now.
Yeah, we have level 1 supports, and those supports are Alistar Leona.
Priority for the Alistar is pretty unusual, but he does have an Ashe alongside him. This champion is insane.
And Jiang with push here. Pings onto Kongyue, so his position will be known.
Yeah. Managing to get his first clear done, and once you get a couple clears done on the Shyvana, you feel a lot better. It is scary in the early game, but Maokai not the most intimidating.
Okay. Jiang halfway to having flashback. Reappearance after 157 days. It was Jiang, and he won up against an Udyr.
Yeah, I believe it was Driver on the Udyr.
It was.
And it was in exactly this lane position that he actually flashed on the Udyr and killed him. Not an option, for reasons we do not need to discuss this game. Reasons that Jiang would probably rather not discuss.
Yeah, I think, you know, looking at Riven in this game, it's going to be pretty good at dodging out of pretty much anything Jhin wants to do, right?
Yeah.
It pressures Jhin.
Jace is 1 HP.
Jace. Yeah, Jace is 1 HP. We're seeing that. And Jimmy, he's very full on HP, but low on mana. Gonna gobble up a Bicky.
Yep, Ryu doing a good job last setting. Actually finds himself a little ahead.
Yeah, we see. I mean, the pressure that Jimmy's been able to establish in this mid wave.
Yep.
Does have both Gemini and Kaiwing hovering up that side.
Yeah, enough for his tier, at least on 1116, so not feeling too horrible about that back, but similar to the Corki, is just going to be getting beat up by the Lucian for most of this early game, and then hoping to outscale and have impact later on. Spikes much earlier than the Corki, at least, the Jace. And a lot more useful in these river skirmishes.
Yeah, I think maybe doesn't spike much. I mean, it depends on his build, but if he goes Eclipse, it probably spikes at the same time.
Yeah, I'm expecting like opportunity maybe, and then you're kind of strong on one item.
Yeah, I mean, you're strong on a Dirk is when you get the spike. When you're on one item, it's kind of just the same as a Corki spike, because the Triforce is a legitimate spike for the Corki.
Yeah, this wave.
The 2 items is more, and it's the same for Jace.
This wave looked ugly for you, but Gemini decides to not hang around. I'm not sure what's changed his mind. It's not like the Shyvana being here really changes the play at all.
Yeah, maybe just Jiang not having flash. We'll be up soon, but...
Yeah, maybe Jiang is confident he can actually stop the crash, and then Maokai can come back later. No. Gemini just not coming back to this lane, just going to leave it in isolation. And trust that his top laner will win. So.
Now, I think to no one's surprise, a bit of a slower game considering what's at stake here.
Yeah, and it's just been like this throughout the series, right? Backs against the wall, Both these teams playing quite carefully.
Yeah.
As Cha looks like he's got the first move out of bot lane.
Jimin should be safe, though. Has his E up and available.
Yeah, had level 6, so maybe could have looked for a good trade and will be denied that opportunity now.
1-6.
Okay.
Even trades, really, but it is the classic mid lane Jace, where you trade evenly on health, but you're the one that loses out on mana.
Yeah.
So it feels a bit rough, all things considered, but he should be okay. Things will get better and better for him, but...
Yeah, big wave pushing away from West Point. Cha needs to get down here as... Oh, I don't know if you ever fight this with a level 5 Shyvana. So West Point do not look afraid.
Now, Kongwei starting it this time, but Kaiwing going to be pressuring the river.
Yeah, so this is going to mean a really fast level 6 for Lovi right now. This Kongwei is just hitting this. There's no way Frank allow this ever.
Jimai seemingly backing off. I mean, he is level 5. You'd rather be that
running here. It's dead.
It's gone. They waited too long. They don't get here in time. But they are still looking for the fight afterwards. Now, it is the dragon taken away. Gemini looks for the steal, not going to be able to find it. He does go down for first blood. Lilby going to be able to pick that one up here on the Jin as damage coming down on Kongwei. The flash over the wall gets him to safety. But now down comes Ryu, and oh my god, it's a disaster for Frank Esports. It's 3 early kills picked up for West Point. They're now up 1k gold, and it was Ryu with the teleport making a massive difference.
Yeah, Frank are tilted. Frank are clearly tilted. I don't know what Gemini is doing. He flashes so late to go for that dragon when it's not even a dragon you need to try steal.
Yeah,
really.
You've given up too much priority. Just go for the grubs.
Yeah. I mean, you either contest this or you just walk away, and they wait so long that Lovi actually hits level 6, and then Gemini and Kaiwing just flash in here with no follow-up near them. And yeah, Ryu, I think TP to the mid tower. Doesn't care. Let Jiang get a plate if he wants to, get some minions, and...
There we are, Calvin happy now.
Yeah. A little bit relieved. A lot of tension around that dragon. First dragon going to Shyvana feels really good.
Yeah, Frank are able to now pick up these Void Grubs, though. So there's not all for naught, but certainly a massive advantage for West Point. And this is going to be the first game we get to see of the PCS where Frank actually have to start at a deficit. They haven't been able to get it done from a gold advantage.
Yeah.
And we'll see what they can do here. Hex Drinker picked up for Jiang. He's going to make that top side a little bit easier for himself, but likewise, those plated steel caps, while not affecting too much the damage out of those broken wings or the other abilities that Riven has. But
yeah,
also
nice.
Those auto attacks that Yijiang surely can weave in.
Nice discipline out of the jungle and support of West Point, just recognizing they actually can't kill that red quite in time before the level 6 Maokai rocks up and, you know, makes things very uncomfortable for them. So they do get out of there, and wisely so, I think. 2 kills now picked up for Lovi. Makes up for the CS deficits that, I mean, West Point are just finding themselves in every lane.
Jiang going aggressive here. Hasn't even popped the ult.
Yeah,
trade's fine. There is obviously an execute threshold you have to be worried about, and the extra health that comes through from that Hex Drinker.
Yeah, so the trade looks very close, but it's actually not. Ryu is missing a lot of effective HP compared to this Riven, and doesn't have his TP either, so has to be really careful.
Oh.
Yeah, just ult the wave. I think that's wise.
Yeah. Jimmy's in trouble. The knockback coming through here for 116 with the culling coming out. Kongwei does use that Ascensive Dragon, but it's not going to find all that much. Maybe one more E. Not even.
And that is about your average Shyvana gank. Not the most impactful, but I guess annoying for Jimmy. And it is kind of a poke comp they've put together, right, on the side of West Point.
Yeah, it is.
With the Shyvana. I forgot this was a poke champ. And pairs well with the Jace, and then Jin can follow up on these, you know, on this poke that you land with his Deadly Flourish. And yeah, it's going to be on... so we've seen Cha on, I think, exactly Leona in some of these poke comps that West Point like to put together, just getting way too aggressive and engaging when he has no business engaging. So hopefully that is something they've improved on. We will see this game, how he plays the Leona.
Yeah, and despite the kill lead that West Point find themselves at, the CS is heavily in favor of the side of Frank, and also, the tower plate going down top means that actually the gold lead is fairly insignificant. 500 gold, not going to be all that much to write home about. Let's see what Jiang's able to pick up here on his first, his second recall.
Yeah, I don't think he'll upgrade the Maw.
The Phage, okay. See what that turns into. Could be a plethora of things, really.
Yeah, I know Ribbon likes Black Cleaver. I don't think that builds into Sundered Sky anymore.
Yeah, no. Most likely will be the Black Cleaver.
Highwing unleashed on the map now, doing a little vision control for his mid laner, Jibian, who almost has his way to the Ruin King finished. And doesn't have a tier, but did opt for the Cull, so matching a bit of scaling from this Jace.
Explosive Face Melter.
Courageous Giga Guard.
That is a cool skin. It actually makes Rumble so much easier to play, I swear.
Ryu, so far, having an okay time up here, did use his TP for his team and hasn't found himself at too much of a deficit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more excited to see how this Ribbon does in the team fights. I mean, maybe the lane's different if you did have a Ribbon with Flash.
Yeah, it's almost more interesting that he hasn't just broken the lane open, as he did last time, because this is a cool champion in team fights. Hyper mobile with, opportunities to make plays and engage.
Yeah, but there is just a Leona who can press Q and then flash.
Yeah, I mean, all Cha really has to do this game is peel the Riven.
The 2 early dragons for the side of West Point.
Yeah.
Not something that's typical of the Shyvana team, but it is going to be answered. Gemini on the top side picking up these Void Grubs, and it should be uncontested. Now, bot side has to be careful. Wako's here. Ascent Dragon, nice flash though. Curtain Call not going to be able to find any more damage, and it's actually going to be a turnaround. Jung's here. Jung's here on the river. Maybe he's able to break this game open. The key strike, the stun. Kongwei failing his flash. The bait of the exile, the execute. And Jung looking good. He picks up 1 kill. Great teleport down. Able to find some proactive play in the game, and Gemini even here to guard his tower.
Yeah, Jung returns the favor. Gets a good TP down. I think that should have actually amounted to very little if Kongwei doesn't fail that flash over the wall.
Yeah, maybe Jung follows it, and that might even put Lilvi in trouble. But ultimately, flash was failed. I mean, Wako as well. Nice reaction times getting out of...
Yeah, nice arrow as well from Wako. Barely clips Kongwei at the end there, and doesn't make it close enough to the wall to flash over, and that's a kill on Jung. Good start for this Riven now. Gets to keep his flash too.
Yeah, and just that much closer now to being able to pick up that Black Cleaver. One good thing about Riven is that even though she teleported bot, Gemini guarded the tower for 1 wave.
Yeah.
And she has so much mobility that she just gets to her lane way quicker than almost any other top laner.
Yeah, and somehow it's Jung picking up a plate. In the top lane, the 6 Void Grubs helping out a lot there.
He should have Black Cleaver now as he's looking for this recall. Void. The Rift Shield, rather, has spawned. We see Char up here. I mean, it's going to be matched by Kaiwing as both AD carries path out to that mid wave. And Hextech Gate, it's not going to be too difficult for Jiang to arrive.
Yeah, we'll see if West Point do decide to contest it. Looks like they're posturing too.
On the bottom side, Jiang going to be able to dodge out of that Solar Flare. Never really feel like you're going to be able to lock down the Riven with a dry Leona ult.
Yeah, a lot of dashes in that Champions kit, so Ambitious from Cha9 is going to be missing that for this Rift Herald fight if West Point do decide to commit.
It is, at least in my opinion, right now, Frank, that feel like the stronger team. They have just more completed items.
Yeah.
I mean, Jung is up a very substantial amount, honestly. Yeah, he doesn't have the boots that Ryu does have, but you don't really need them as the Ascent of Dragon once again. Wako, remember, he does not have flash, used it in play earlier, and Kaiwing's just going to be able to block up all of this. So I don't know why he's not just walking out of that curtain call, but it is Frank, though, picking up this Rift Shield in the meantime.
Yeah, favorable trade of the ultis even for Frank. As Ryu does get some quality time with the spot lane tower. Not the fastest champion at taking these towers, especially when not overheated. Will he get the full tower, though? It looks like he will, just because Frank are going to let him.
Yeah, they're going to go for this top tower. 116 was trying to be here to defend.
Jimmy has TP, actually.
Yeah, he can get down there. I think they're just going to let him. I don't think teleporting this tower makes much sense. It's going to be the first tower, so a lot of gold for this Rumble. But,
yeah, he TPs. Jung might get this first tower. That's massive spike of gold.
116 is here, though. The mid laners are the Void Grubs.
The Void Grubs are too broken.
Oh, my
massive.
lord. One of the rare times we're seeing a massive payoff, right, for those Void Grubs.
Yeah, that is a huge difference in the amount of gold that he's able to get. Because of how low his bot tower is, too. You get twice as much gold for the first tower.
Yep. Jimmy now working his way. And again, the Void Grubs is going to mean that this probably wouldn't have been that substantial of damage, amount of damage, shall I say, to this tower. But with the Void Grubs, the 6 of them, Void Mites having 2 of them spawn, means that what could have been like a quarter of this tower's health ends up being half.
Yep, and you got to be careful with your macros West Point against these 6 Void Grubs. Leandri's now picked up for Ryu. Had a pretty good Rumble game for him last game.
Yeah. Mertred's picked up now for Yi Jung, so he's going to be even less lockdownable.
Yeah, probably just has to be the Void Staff next for you if he wants to stand any chance in this 1v1.
I think, does Rumble build that or Crypt Bloom? I can't remember now off the top of my head. I think it's Crypt Bloom.
Yeah, I think he did go Crypt Bloom last game. Jimmy is the highest level on the map now at level 12. Ryu just caught up to him now. And is going to find himself ulting another wave, probably Ryu.
Now, Dragon number 3, possibly for West Point, but it's Frank with control over the river. Obviously, everyone here in this mid-side, or middle and bot side of the map. Jung trying to get priority in the mid lane. Eyes, of course, on this Riven. What can Yi Jung get done in these team fights? Nature's Grass coming out. Char might be in trouble. And Shadow Crystal Arrow lands. Everything's landing. Key Burst as well. Kongwei pops that ultimate, but not going to find all that much. It's going to be the kill there for Yi Jung. Gemini going to be dodging out of that accelerated shock blast. 4v5, but health bar's relatively okay for the side of Frank. And Dragon should be able to be started up. Just waiting out the time on this Shyvana ult until it is basically a 3v5.
Yeah, and I mean the focus.
The engage, yeah, that's Lil V Den. Play to the Exile, gonna secure that kill. Yi Jung, though, he's in trouble. Flash 4 from Ryu, but here comes another engage. Flash, Bramble, Slam, very low HP, but Char's arrived back at the play. Not a whole lot of damage can be done. He does find the stun there onto Wako. Accelerated Shock Blast does go wide. And now there's Ashe. This is where they thrive. Jimmy arriving. Jung gonna claim himself a 3rd. And it is Frank striking back.
Yeah, this Riven might get out of control. That's a lot of kills picked up for Jung now. 4-0 on the Riven.
He does not take assists. He only takes kills.
Yeah, he finishes off Lil V after he flashes as well with that ulti. And I mean, look at the Jace items. It's so bizarre to take that fight as West Point. Fully stacked tier, no Miramana finished yet.
Especially Shyvana ult goes down, right? Oh, Marco going to get a flash.
Yeah, very nice. And yeah, this poke is, I mean, some of it is landing from the side of West Point, but just doing no damage. Kaiwing just finds Lil V frontlining here and makes quick work of him. Ryu uses his flash, cannot finish off Jung. Jung actually able to come back in again here, pick up a 4th kill for himself.
Yeah, and it was a weird decision, I think, for Char9 to go in. Ultimately, only 116 could impact with any damage, and all that could ever be is an accelerated Q.
Yeah, and this is the problem that Char9 has had all split, just judging when to all in. You know, regardless of if you can land an E on the Ashe or not, you need to make sure your teammates can actually follow up. Fails to do so there. Gives up an extra kill. As Jace is desperately farming to try to get his Miramana finished, and this is a position West Point did not have to put themselves in. They could have easily just given a Dragon.
For sure. Pretty dominating now are Frank. Start off this game actually behind. Maybe that is where they thrive, because I think you'd be dishonest if you said they thrive from ahead.
No, not after the last few games. Last few series even.
Yeah.
Jimmy quietly just farming away this game. Hasn't done anything amazing, hasn't done anything horrible.
Yeah, he's just sitting there waiting for Yi-Jung to get it done.
Yeah, slowly scaling up on the solution. We saw how strong Lovi got last game. Once you do get farmed up on the solution pick, Jung Eclipse now.
Yeah, this Riven is extremely strong. Lil V as well, though. He's on 2 items. No slouch.
Yeah, 116 should be backing for his second now.
Yeah, and I can't imagine Jimmy's very far off.
It's actually going to be the blue buff denied away, so on these carry junglers, once your jungle starts getting taken away from you, it starts to feel really
maybe
bad.
I have to use it.
You hate to see it.
Never mind.
Yeah,
I'll stop where I was.
Mako throws a question mark at his Maokai.
Good thing about Ashe is the ult is a very short cooldown.
Yeah, even when you're not going to lethality, Ashe, already 25% of the cooldown is up.
All right, we have Yi-Jung matching up against 116, but he is very heavily the weak side right now. And let's hope he doesn't get too much into a solo queue mindset.
Yeah, he has a massive shutdown that he needs to not give away here.
Lots of pings. I mean, just don't walk up, please.
Yeah.
Allow this to go over. Okay. Oh. Gemini here now. No Nature's Grasp, though.
Yeah, and they're going to defend this 2v3, it looks like, at least until Lovi gets up here.
Okay, they are able to.
Yep. Jimmy takes a recall, grabs his Essence Reaver.
Oh. Would have been close to whether or not that went off or not, so Char wisely just backing off. Not worth the risk. Now, Dragon, 1 minute. Obviously, we will have Shyvana ult. We have those 2 items now, those big 2 items.
Is it TP?
He's teleporting. Where's he teleporting? Oh, he's teleporting out.
Actually matches the TP of Jiang. Nice play from Ryu.
So no loss. No harm, no foul-esque moment.
Yep.
Both teams spam pinging teleports right now. But I think this Dragon, it's really like now, right now, there's a very massive spike for West Point. You know, those 2 items now on the Jace, 2 items on Jhin, 2 items on your Shyvana. But Frank also had the tools to deal with Shyvana really well. They can disengage. Ashe just throwing out slows. You know, Jimmy's going to be able to dash and dive wherever he wants, as well as you can just use Maokai ult to disengage if you need to.
Yeah, and they have this massive ribbon that they can play around too.
Yeah. I think the name of the game, and from here until the end of the game, whatever the result is that Frank probably just, you know, see Kongyue ult and then back off, wait, buy time, ult runs out, especially in these river fights where you don't have access to auto attack to keep that ult duration going up and up and up.
Yeah, and it's kind of up to 1116 in the meantime to land some of these shock blasts. Doesn't connect with Wako there. Jimmy on his way down. This Dragon fight, if West Point take it, probably decides the game. Yep. So it looks like they may not be interested.
Keep an eye, especially, I think, on this Enchanted Crystal. Keep an eye on Jimmy, and he just gets caught by CC and taken out immediately. Now, Nature's Grasp is going to come out and deny Kongyue any entry into this pit, but he does manage to walk there eventually, and Wako is just found. Kongyue gets the smite, and it's West Point now on Soul Point. Baron up 5v2. Jung would have to pull off something incredible to defend this one. There is a teleport for this Lucian in 20 more seconds.
Yeah, it's not the fastest Baron, and this is a very fed Riven, but I mean, Kaiwing has ulti too. I think you try if you're Frank.
10 seconds. They have to delay just 10 seconds. Jimmy can come out. The 3v5 is a lot more doable than the 2v5. Kaiwing, he's going to come. Yeah, he plans to come in. He plans to do it. Jung comes in. That's a 3-man knock-up. He's fighting the damage. The Blade of the Exile's not going to find the kill, but they're biding time. Very low health bars and Jimmy in. He can get it all done. That's 2 kills. 3 KHP. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow connects, and that's 116 going to go down as well. Double kill now for Jimmy and Kaiwing alongside Yi-Jung. They absolutely do everything they need to. It's Soul Point for West Point, but Baron for Frank, maybe.
Yeah, they're going to wait for Gemini. They're going to wait for Gemini to get here, so no Jin shenanigans. And yeah, Jung manages to do it. He gives up his shutdown. He gives up his life, but that's got to be worth it. 1 for 4? Maybe 3.
1 for 3.
But in a 2v3, incredible. Jimmy shows up at the end to clean up some kills. And no harm, no foul. As, yeah, it was an incredible... Oh, wow, it was just a W out of Lilvi. I thought it was the solar flare landing. And, yeah, I mean, Kong Yue takes that as his cue to push his ulti, and Wako not moving to the right there to get behind Gemini. And, yeah, what a miracle that Jiang is able to actually stop this play. Because the HP bars are just full. Initially on the side of West Point, at least, actually Baron chunks them out completely. He gets stunned by this Leona, but does enough damage in this fight that West Point cannot finish the Dragon. Kong Yue is completely owned. And then 116 just recalling on top of the ward. Goes down here, and yeah, that's the Baron. Now Frank in a commanding position out of nowhere.
Yeah, but I mean, the most important thing, right? 2.5 minutes. Hextech Soul.
Yeah.
Hextech Soul on champions like the Jin, like the Rumble, like the Jace, very difficult to deal with. And especially for Riven. I mean, you know, she relies entirely on mobility.
Yeah.
And Hextech Soul does one hell of a job to stop any form of mobility.
Yeah, usually a champ that's completely unbothered by poke comps, the Riven, just has a shield on a really short cooldown and a lot of mobility. But with the Hextech Soul, it gets pretty scary for her to play. Anything tagging her could mean getting chased down.
But this is his game to carry. He's now 3.5 items.
Yeah, and so far so good.
By far the most far ahead member of, well, just player on the Rift. They're 5k gold ahead. It doesn't seem like it once again. And honestly, it's very hard to bet for Frank at this stage when they are 5k gold ahead, because time and time again, they've gone down. But I think most importantly, we have a lot of comfort around the Rift. You know, Jimmy's been playing a lot of games of Lucian, as we do see coming over there, the Scent of Dragon. Going to be matched by this Nature's Grass. One great thing about that champion, Wako's so low, he's getting poked down, and Lil V, you absolute beast. Now Kylie's going to get taken out as well. Importantly, these members will be back in time for the Dragon, as Gemini needs to try and find his way to the Hextech Gate. Oh, he's cancelled. Actually, maybe he cancelled it himself.
Yeah, he's going to hang around. It's 1 minute on the Dragon, so 30 seconds on Wako means that they will be able to defend this, but the Baron play is just over for Frank, unless Jiang...
Oh! Xenoblade connects. Everything's connecting with Jiang. He does have a lot of mobility. Can he get out? That's a knock-up. Takes the shield, and you know, the broken wings, you're not going to be able to find it. That is just the flash gone from Char9 for nothing. Jimmy, in the meantime, I mean, he's feeling completely unfazed. He knows where everyone is. Not really scared of a no-ult Shyvana.
Yeah, and you can see this poke comp coming online now. Wako dies with not a single enemy champion on his screen, essentially. No one even approaches auto-attack range. The Leona ulti even used for Pokken. How on earth does he connect that on Lil V? The second time he's just found, he just has Wako's number.
I want to get back to live. I need to see the state of this map. It's Frank with control.
Look at these Jin items. My God, Lil V.
Yeah, he's also now at 3.5 items.
Monster performance last game.
Elixir for Jiang. He realizes, you know, this is the game-defining team fight. Yep. Invest that 500 gold. Make sure you're as strong as possible.
Frank just nuking it down. Kong Yue has a chance.
Yeah, Kong Yue, he's trying to get in there. He does, but it's going to be smited away. Gemini is able to secure that one for himself, as Yijang is just making quick work of 116, now turning his attention to Ryu. Jimmy finds a double kill. Ryu's going to go down. 116 is extremely low. Wako takes that kill for himself. 116 is gone. It's one person left. It's Lil V versus the world. The entire hopes and dreams of West Point rely on this one member. They do have a lot of structures to get to, but the curtain call has been used on this bottom lane. Now Lil V, what can he do? There's 10 seconds left on Char9. He has to sit at his towers. Kong Yue will be spawning as well, but he's not going to have ultimate. They committed so much to this Dragon. They didn't need to. They could have let it go.
Yeah, I think Frank can just end maybe Char up now.
Char's up, Kaiwing trying to deny anything. He's trying to do everything he can. Lil V getting jumped on by Gemini as Wako makes quick work of this tower. Jiang autoing the tower. Char trying to play distraction, but it's not going to work. Forward, forward, and forward goes Jiang, and forward in the playoffs will go Frank. It was not clean, but they do manage to do it, and it's off the back of none other than Yi Jiang's ribbon.
Yeah, certainly wasn't pretty, but I'm glad we got to see the ribbon. I'm glad he managed back against the wall to make it work. And I mean, what a perfect game from Jiang. Gets the ribbon in and manages to just 1v9. I mean, I don't know what happened to his flash early game, but isn't tilted by losing his flash.
This was absolute cinema.
Yeah.
We have seen 5 games in a row of Frank up an absurd amount of gold into almost all of those games losing. And finally, for the first time here in the PCS playoffs of Summer 2024, they are down gold at the start of the game. They've flashed level 1 accidentally. We're watching wall hops fail time and time again. And that's the game that gets us for our rematch against Team Bliss later on in our week. And I cannot believe the scenes that we are witnessing here.
Yeah, I am glad we are going to get to see that rematch. I think Frank are glad too. They don't want to go down in the history books as, you know, they will now as the team that lost to LCO for the first time in our playoffs, but at least they want to get some payback and send Bliss home. On the other hand, though, West Point, it was fun.
Yi Jiang has some words. I wonder if he's explaining the reasoning. He's trying to justify flashing on the spot level 1 right now.
Yeah,
I think
it's good to see some members of Frank talking, at least. After the last few games, just nothing being said. Everyone's staring at their monitors blankly.
I think Wako, he's the only one that's already out of the booth. I don't